lot of our young men and women, they look forward to being around the game of basketball so much because a lot of their community is infested with crime and violence. It's always been a passion of mine to make sure I channel these young men and women in the right direction through sports. Basketball and being in this environment is a safe haven for them in terms of what they need to do to get out. You have leadership conference to help these young men and women to understand the importance of making the right choice. I tell all of my athletes, when you go to school, help yourself. Stay focused. Use basketball. Don't let basketball use you. I love the game. The game has been good to me, and I just want to give back to the young people who have opportunity so the game can be good to them. Crime-free looks like me.
Do your part. Join the movement to a safer Bahamas.
What does disability look like? In a busy airport terminal? At the check-in counter? At security checkpoints? Or even in baggage claim? Passengers with hidden disabilities often go unnoticed. Globally, 1 in 7 persons have some form of a disability. 80% of those disabilities are non-visible. In an airport environment, workers are often unaware of hidden physical, mental, or neurological disabilities that some passengers live with. This can lead to frustration and a less than ideal travel experience. So, how do we make the invisible more visible? At LPIA, we've implemented the Sunflower Lanyard program. The lanyards are visual cues for airport workers to immediately identify passengers who might need additional assistance. NAD is teaming up with the National Commission for Persons with Disabilities and key stakeholders at LPIA to launch the internationally recognized initiative. We're joining more than 180 airports and 26 countries already in the program. NAD is the first organization in the Bahamas to recognize the Sunflower Initiative. It's a way to show our continued commitment to making LPIA a safe, welcoming, and inclusive airport for all. Passengers needing to secure a free Sunflower lanyard can email sunflower@nas.bs or call 1242-397-8600. For more information, visit www.nassauLPIA.com.
Your number one team in the North. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better.
And this just in from police officials issuing a wanted bulletin poster for Akimio Troy McIntosh, who was wanted by the Criminal Investigation Department for procuration and cruelty to children. This just coming in from police to our ZNS newsroom. Of course, he is the principal of Belmont Christian Academy, which is the school that we interviewed earlier this week. And that's going to do it for us here in the North. I'm Ramiko Knowles. Thanks so much for tuning in. Here's a live look at the Bahamas tonight, coming your way next.
ZNS News is brought to you by the new BTC. Fiber is here. Faster, stronger, more reliable. Together, we are unstoppable. Switch today.
First at 11, as police seek to ramp up efforts to thwart crime and the criminal elements following a recent spate of murders, a unique appeal for the public's assistance and those with CCTV. And a group of American missionaries, the latest victims of an armed robbery in New Providence, as masked men broke into a home in which they were staying. This as authorities tout a 6% decrease in crime overall. Also, a cabinet minister expands on the central bank's directives for financial institutions in the country to be much more transparent with their fees imposed for financial products and services. The Bahamas Tonight at 11 starts now. Good evening, everyone. I'm Royston Jones, and this is the Bahamas Tonight at 11. Thank you so much for tuning in. Police stepping up their efforts in the crime fight in hopes of detaining even more suspects and placing them before the courts. But there's a renewed appeal for the public's help, namely those with CCTV, to register with authorities. This as an off-duty officer is now the focus of a coroner's inquest after a man was killed overnight. Our Devonte Hanna is on the story.
Tonight, another stern message from police.
We will not relent.
As His Majesty's coroner continues an investigation into a police-involved shooting around midnight, which Chief Superintendent Christling Skipping says began at a nightclub on Meeting Street and ended on Blue Hill Road.
The officers identified themselves, at which point the young man produced a firearm, opened fire on the police. Police in response returned fire, fatally shooting the young man.
She says a pistol was recovered from the alleged suspect. This comes as officers continue their plea for more homeowners to register their CCTV cameras to help solve crime.
If an incident occurs in your area, we will contact you, and if your camera captured important footage, you can easily share them with us through the Fuses platform.
According to the officer in charge of technology, Assistant Commissioner of Police Zervago Dames, police have access to 1,012 cameras here in the capital by way of 936 registrant. But he says more can be added.
Crime is a responsibility of all of us. All of us have a responsibility in this, the police and the community. And so you have now an important way of helping the police to be able to solve these things or crimes more faster. And one way that you can do that is by simply registering your CCTV cameras with us.
And while officers tout a 6% decrease in crime across the board, Chief Superintendent Skippings is urging more residents to report relatives who may be in possession of guns and ammunition.
These same weapons that they may have for their friends or their enemies, these same weapons can actually turn and be used on family members. And so I want the Bahamian people to partner with their police.
At last count, police had removed over 300 guns off the streets. They add the Fuses CCTV program will expand to the Family Islands in the coming months once Phase 2 commences. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Devonte Hanna.
An unusual armed robbery investigation underway by police. Authorities confirming that a group of American missionaries staying at a residential property in the Gambier Village area were woken around midnight Wednesday by 3 masked men armed with sharp instruments. The men reportedly gained entry into the home and robbed them of an undisclosed amount of cash and personal valuables. According to police, officers are following significant leads and urge anyone with additional information to contact the Criminal Investigation Department at 502-9991 or 2 or Crime Stoppers at 328-TIPS. Police are also seeking to determine what spurred a 40-year-old woman to consider ending her life last evening. Police tell us the woman was at a Wilson Track home after 6 p.m. when she reportedly ingested an unknown liquid along with over-the-counter pills. Luckily, she was rushed to hospital where, at last report, she was being treated and evaluated. The matter is under active investigation. Now to economic news. The Central Bank's latest monthly report indicating a continued slowdown in inflation from 5.2% in 2023 to 1.7% in August. The central bank attributing the decline to several key factors, including moderate decreases in the average cost for communication, transport, clothing and footwear, as well as recreation and culture. Conversely, these categories reflected increases the year prior. According to the central bank, inflation is anticipated to continue to trend downwards, and this as moderation in global oil prices and other imports persist. There is, however, the upside risks, which according to the bank continue to hinge on the uncertainty surrounding global oil prices and supply chain shortages, largely the result of geopolitical tensions in Eastern Europe and the Middle East. And speaking of the central bank's Economic Affairs Minister, Senator the Honorable Michael Halkitis, opining on its recent directives to financial institutions for greater transparency in lifting fees and charges on customers. The regulator reminded that charges imposed for financial products and payment services should be reasonable and transparent. In recent months, customers of various financial institutions have taken them to task over increased fees, reduced services, and what they deem a lack of communication. However, officials, including both the Prime Minister and Foreign Affairs Minister, have scolded these institutions. Minister Halkidis' reaction to the central bank's directive at today's Office of the Prime Minister's weekly press briefing was supportive but measured.
We want to see accessible, affordable banking services throughout the country for people. Now, obviously, the central bank has heard the hue and cry about rising bank fees and the diminution of services, and this is their attempt to do that. We will watch it, and we'll continue to listen to the public. And we are supportive of anything that gives better service at a lower cost. There's a balance between letting businesses do business and compete, but banking services is a fundamental right, I believe, and so we have to make sure it's affordable and available.
The National Tripartite Council's 2024 through 2027 session is underway. At a press conference today, Chairman Sharon Martin announced their aggressive agenda, which includes the continued conversation of living versus minimum wage, decent work conditions, improved benefits for workers, and sustainable employment opportunities. The agenda also will include navigating the triple transition and working towards adherence to the International Labor Organization conventions, ratifications, and implementation. Martin said the council will recommend the establishment of a national wage-setting committee to the government, with the main charge to review Cabinet's mandate to the council for the continued analysis of minimum wage versus livable wage. It was Exuma's turn to hear from Minister of Energy and Transport, the Honorable JoBeth Colby-Davis, as she continues her national tour of Bahamas Power and Light. Minister Colby-Davis was in Georgetown late last month when she met with BPL workers and inspected the transmission and distribution plant there. She's already visited Abaco and BPL workers here in the capital. Still to come, road upgrades in Red Bays. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight at 11. More news in just a moment.
In the chaos of our daily lives, it's easy to be caught up in the rush. But when you're behind the wheel, remember, rushing can lead to disaster. Don't rush. Take your time. Remember, your life and others depends on it. Slow down. Stay alert and arrive alive. Because in the race of life, it's not about how fast you get there, but how safely.
This message is brought to you by Commonwealth Bank, leader in personal banking services.
You've got termites and need to get rid of them fast? Trust Rentokil Initial. With over 60 years experience in the Bahamas, the global brand, training, and expertise can't be beat. Only Rentokil Initial gives you a 3-year warranty and payment plan options on termite fumigation. No one can match the range of treatments we offer, such as fumigation, pre-construction treatments, termite monitoring, and more. No matter where you are in the Bahamas, we will come to you. When it comes to complete termite eradication, there's only one name, Rentokil Initial.
From the sugar to the jam to the pigeon peas and coconut milk. I love JBI products. My favorite product is the ginger tea. My favorite item would be the peas and coconut milk. For today, I'm trying out their white cane sugar. I want to say I've been buying this now for 5 years. It gives me a good kick in the morning.
Whenever my mommy cooks, she must and will put the JBI corn inside my tuna and rice.
Anytime I make my sky juice, I always use JBI condensed milk. It's really good.
All of the products are exceptional.
Try JBI.
Happy anniversary, JBI. Happy 30th year anniversary, JBI. Happy 30th anniversary, JBI.
Thank you, Bahamas.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Bahamas Striping Group of Companies.
Nassau and Paradise Island Promotion Board CEO Joy Gerbalu participated in the Oceans Roundtable at Gold's House Climate Week in New York City last week. Gold's House comprises a diverse community to unite in a shared mission of driving progress to achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. The session assembled policy leaders and innovators who discussed the importance of protecting the world's oceans and ensuring it is a prominent pillar of the wider climate conversation ahead of the UN Ocean Conference next June. During the roundtable, CEO Jibrilou presented the unique challenges and opportunities faced by the Bahamas and how, as a coastal country, sustainable tourism and protecting the environment remains a key priority to position the Bahamas as a distinct destination. Crossing over now to education, the Staniel Key Comprehensive School in Exuma will be renamed tomorrow. It will bear the name of the late Aurelia Miller. Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Davis, and Ministry of Education, Technical and Vocational Training officials will travel to Exuma to honor the legacy of this veteran educator. You can tune in right here on the ZNS Network at 11 o'clock tomorrow for live coverage of the renaming ceremony. Although students across the country have been busy in the classroom since the new school year began, preparation is definitely about to start for their participation in the annual Junior Junkanoo Parade. While the specific details of this year's event have yet to be announced, Minister of Youth, Sports and Culture, the Honorable Mario Boleg, is excited about this year's planning process.
This is going to be another year where we extend seed funding to all of the high schools at an early time so they can prepare themselves. And we're looking forward to also to Clint moving towards a national junior Junkanoo parades where we have the champions of all of the islands to come down to New Providence and then have a national Junkanoo parade. So we are talking to some corporate sponsors who are very much interested. And again, we're going to continue to do things which is the responsibility of the government, the growth and development of Junkanoo and bring exposure to the young people so that we can continue this tradition as the older folks move off the scene.
Government High School has resumed its schoolyard farming program, again raising interest among students in agriculture and specifically farming. Corvell Pyfrom reports that when it does come to farming, GHS says no bull here.
The real star of this story is really the more than 850-pound beauty, or in this case, this handsome slab of meat named Carmelo. He'll make for great T-bone, but this boy is not for dinner, at least not tonight. He's a breeding bull and the center of attention at his home at Government High School. It's one of a growing number of schools all across the country where schoolyard farming has been added into the curriculum and appears to be taking off. Not very far from Carmelo's chill spot is where we find the students' chicken coops. About 100 of these very outgoing creatures are providing the school with several daily doses of fresh eggs. They are now being sold. And no scent here, so that means these are really fresh. Recently, Director of Agriculture Dion Gibson talked about how the school program has been attracting interest everywhere. The ultimate goal he envisions is making this program available to all students.
We're even having schools reach out to us, including private schools. And so this is very encouraging for the future of agriculture, getting the young people interested, prepared to become a part of the industry to contribute to food security, food sovereignty, and food sustainability.
And so now for the finale of our story. We wanted to end on a bang, but since we couldn't get Carmelo to make a loud move for us, we got GHS seniors Dre, famous Dre on TikTok as he says, Dave and Levi to do this little number for us. That's our high note. And for the Bahamas tonight, I'm Corvell Pyfrom.
Over in the Family Islands, motorists in Red Bay's Andros will soon be driving on new roads. Marlin Enterprise Company Limited got the government contract for the road upgrades, and according to contractor Ezra Russell, the repairs, which began 18 months ago, are about 75% complete and should be finalized in a matter of days. The Member of Parliament for North Andros and the Berry Islands, Leonardo Lightbourne, is pleased that his constituents will greatly benefit from this venture.
I just think it's important that we empower individuals, residents who live in Red Base, and henceforth I pushed and struggled with the government to ensure that this road is in place. And however, now today we're here, we have the contractor who said this road is 75% complete, and in a few weeks we'll be all done. And the people of Red Base, and not only Red Base, the entire North Andros can enjoy it and back and forth, because plenty of persons commute here to just see their family residents, and now they could be doing it more often. So
Marcellus Hall has a look at what's coming up in sports. Marcellus?
Coming up in sports for tonight, we'll take a look at what's going on with the NBA training camps here in the Bahamas. One NBA player says he's ready to play for Team Bahamas. Details ahead in sports.
A decade ago, the Bahamas Striping Group of companies was birthed out of a passion to change the way we travel. From only a $5,000 grant, the tenacity and work ethic has propelled BSGC to one of the leading road management companies in the Caribbean. We pride ourselves on going the extra mile where others won't, through the use of our state-of-the-art equipment and our certified team. Although the success is commendable, the road has been long. Yet, the mission continues in striving to be a world-class organization ran by Bahamians for Bahamians. With the help of our experienced and hardworking team, we at the Bahamas Striping Group of companies are committed to making a difference, one road at a time.
From June 1st to November 30th, the ZNS Radio and Television Network is the #1 source in the Bahamas for hurricane information before, during, and after a storm. Now is the time to choose your radio and television hurricane season ad packages. Get extra special rates and run the ads only when you want them to run. Call the ZNS sales office today at 502-3800.
Are you ready for the hottest sports show on the market? It's called The Timeout, Sundays on the ZNet Television Network. In our first show, 4 decades of sports in the country.
Covering the news seems easy, but we put thought into what we're doing. The Bahamas Tonight Access Now, here to inform, educate, and entertain. A new type of newscast featuring social media trends, news from around the islands, interviews with the people you like, sports, weather, and fabulous entertainment. That's a Bahamas Tonight Access Now with Marcellus Hall and LaDon Davis. Live, starting September 16th.
Welcome to your ZNS Total Sports Check, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. Well, the Minister of Youth, Sports, and Culture, the Honorable Mario Boleg, making an appearance on The Rundown with our Clint Watson last night. At that time, he took time to express his thoughts on a number of different issues, one of those being with Golden Girl Pauline Davis-Thompson, who recently appeared on another show talking about the properties promised by the government. The minister speaking on that topic, saying just this.
$50,000 for a gold medal, and then they get a property, right? So, or $40,000 actually, and then they get a property. Now, in 2000, I think that's when the Golden Girls won the medal, and they were afforded that property out west. As far as I am aware, when this government came into power, with Minister Sayers as the Minister of Works, that Ramon Miller, who then was the only Golden Knight, along with the Golden Girls, who has property in that area, started to build his home.
Right.
His home is finished. He's now in his home. He came to me and said that, you know, it's difficult for him to get the infrastructure in place. The government put in the infrastructure. That's why Ramon Miller is resigned there right now. Now, I know that there was a cry about access to the property from West Bay Street and another access from the Gambia Village area. And so there are access to the property. I think the government, again, would have agreed to provide the athletes with the funding and the property as they agreed, is up to the athlete to go now and build the house.
And the Exuma Keys have been one of those areas where sailing has been a big part of the equation. Now, that being the sailing is the national sport is a good thing. Corvell Pike from recently on that island, he took time to take a look at what's going on with the sailing program there. Here's this report.
Only days to go before junior sailors representing clubs from all across the country and a few from the United States descend on Exuma for this year's competition, and excitement is building. For the host team, the Exuma Sailing Club, they are getting in their last few days of practice. Juniors Tyrese McKenzie, Emmett Knowles, and Christopher Thompson are counting down the days to competition.
It could be like heavy wind days and it could just turn light, you know, but you have to be adaptive. So, yeah.
It's going to be nice to have some good sailors that are from other clubs and from the States and all that. That's going to be fun to go against them.
I want to, improve, get better, do good. What the word called? Have fun and other stuff.
The competition is for juniors ages 8 through 15. Dallas Knowles is the Exuma Sailing Club's head coach and says the program teaches these youngsters much more than sailing.
Sailing teaches a whole lot of life skills that are useful outside of the competition. Teaches you, attention to detail, discipline, being on time, paying attention to small details, handling frustrations, things like that. So for the last 10 years, we've just wanted to give the kids in Exuma an organized and controlled and safe environment for them to learn life skills as well as sailing.
Aiden Turnquist just joined the program in August. He's working through a little first-time jitters, but is nonetheless excited about competing.
When you learn how to sail, it's so fun, and you just have a good experience.
The Bahamas Opti Nationals Championships takes place this Saturday at Elizabeth Harbor in Exuma. For ZNS Total Sports, I'm Corvell Pfeiffer.
And the Philadelphia 76ers continuing their preseason training camp at the Atlantis Resorts on Paradise Island. Now, besides Eric Gordon, who played with the Bahamas national team this past summer, one other team member, Isaiah Mobley, also revealing that he, too, has connections to the Bahamas.
I ended up here with the 76ers, but I feel like it was a better even match made in heaven that we started training camp here in the Bahamas. I have some family ties here. Look forward to being with the national team going forward, so it's exciting to be out here.
And speaking of Bahamians and the NBA, Kai Jones in camp with the Los Angeles Clippers. Jones was signed as a free agent over the summer, now going into his second season with the squad, where he's hoping now to play some quality minutes. The 6th annual Caribbean Cup baseball tournament fast approaching, with ticket sales already underway. Key thing, though, will be to have the Andre Rogers baseball diamond in premium working condition. NSA General Manager Moses Johnson says they are indeed ready.
We're expected to come in to make it the stadium completely ready, but for the most part, we're about 80% ready. It's just small stuff that we need to deal with in terms of the contractors and having it placed and put in place. But other than that, we're ready to go.
And that's it to check on sports for you here on this Thursday. Our Thursday weather just ahead. Stay with us.
Our marine resources were once considered inexhaustible. Conch and reef fish like grouper were abundant everywhere, and it seemed as if the lobster catch would rise forever. But today, there is a downward trend that affects everyone. Researchers say we can reverse the trend by protecting more marine habitats. And the good news is that most Bahamians strongly support efforts to halt further decline. Tripling the size of our network of marine parks will mean more fish and conch for everyone now and for the future, as well as more recreational and ecotourism opportunities. Today, only 10% of our waters are protected. Surveys show that most Bahamians consider protection of our marine environment to be a top national priority. More protection means more benefits for everyone, now and in the future. It's a win-win-win strategy for the economy, for Bahamians, and for nature. Protect our sea, protect our way of life, protect the Bahamas. See the future. Visit Bahamas Protected on Facebook to learn more about marine protected areas.
We are here in the time of need. There's no discrimination. The mission is to relieve the suffering. We volunteer, we deliver care. With donors and partners, we're always here to turn compassion into action. Protecting life and health with our training throughout the years. We empower to heal the world. There is hope, assistance with disasters. There is shelter and love for our people. We can work together to help those in need. So volunteer with us and donate to show you care. There is hope, assistance with disasters. There is shelter and love for our people. We can work together to help those in need. So volunteer with us and donate to show you care. Together, let's build a more resilient Bahamas. Community farming for food security. Climate programs suited for our island country. Together, let's build a more resilient Bahamas.
This message brought to you by the Bahamas Red Cross Society in conjunction with the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas.
One of the things that the church must be aware of, that this is no time and season for us to get so deep and holy that we can't hail folk who hurting next to us. We can't hail the people in our neighborhood. We can't see how hungry they are. We can't get too deep, brothers and sisters, and so anointed that we forget that if someone hurt you, you gotta forgive them.
Sundays at 8:30 a.m. on ZNS TV 13.
It's time now for a weather check with Chief Meteorologist Basil Dean. Basil?
Good evening, Royston. Two areas in the tropics we continue to monitor, but neither of them pose any threat to the Bahamas. The first is Hurricane Kirk, which is now a Category 4 hurricane, packing winds of 130 miles per hour. And just to the southeast of Kirk, we have tropical storm Leslie. Leslie packing winds of 50 miles per hour, and we anticipate that Leslie will follow Kirk in that northwest direction. And this is a forecast track of Kirk. It will continue moving northwest as a Category 4, and then we'll start to see some weakening on Saturday before it turns towards the north and east, and that motion will keep it over the open waters of the Atlantic. Temperatures around the islands this evening: Marshall, Abaco at 82, Grand Turkey 79 degrees, Freeport, Grand Bahama 79 degrees, 85 in the Berry Islands, Allenstown, Bimini at 86 degrees. Over in Harbor Island, 84 degrees. Roxanne, Eleuthera, 82. Fresh Creek, Central Andros at 84. Kemps Bay, South Andros, 85. Black Point, Exuma, 85. Artistown, Cat Island, 82 degrees. And we pick up some more of those 82 degrees there. And as we go to our forecast for tonight, in the northwestern islands, you can look for partly cloudy conditions, a bit on the warm side. Your low temperature, well, that's going to get down to 79 degrees. And tomorrow, partly sunny and breezy with thunderstorms in the morning and also in the afternoon as well. They will be of an isolated nature. 88 degrees for your high temperature tomorrow, and your extended weather forecast, we will have those pop-up showers and thunderstorms right into Saturday. Sunday looks a lot better with lots of sunshine returning to our forecast, but come Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and right through greater part of next week, we're going to have some cloudy conditions, and that will be as a result of those outer feeding bands from that low pressure system that we anticipate will make its way into the Gulf of Mexico. Temperature-wise, we're going to get you into the upper 80s, but things will start climbing back into the 90s as we head into the early part of next week. Royston.
Thanks, Basil. Well, that does it for the Bahamas tonight at 11. Thank you for continuing to make ZNS your first choice for news and information. Only the sun covers the Bahamas better than ZNS. Thank you for watching, and have a great night.
At the Office of the Prime Minister, I'm Devontae Hanno. This is ZNS.